What's going on, everybody? We're going to do a Wilds of Eldraine break today. As I said, if you guys watched the previous video, I'm breaking these down just because I was kind of late to the party as far as my shipment went. And we're just going to see what hits we get out of this. This is my own channel, so I'm going to shill for myself here. If you don't mind leaving a like or dislike by the end of the video. If you did or didn't like the video, leave some feedback. Let me know what I could do to improve. And if you check in the description section below or on the pinned comment, there is a link to Whatnot where we stream daily, and you can get a free $15 if you use that link there. Just gonna do the box break, kind of go talk more about the cards rather than how I did the last format. And like I said, I don't really know the direction I want to go with the channel right now, and I would love some feedback if people would prefer box breaks, or if they want to know more about like the business side of things. But would love to hear what people are interested in, and we can go on from there. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and break this. And this is coming out of the same case we already hit a confetti out of, which was the Omniscience, which I have to admit, the confettis look a lot better than I thought they would. So let's see how this goes here. See if we get anything big. I'd love to see a Beseech the Mirror, just for my personal collection. Otherwise, most of this will be going to the TCG player store or online. So Likeness Looter, Leyline of Sanctity, Restless Vinestock, a Realm Scorcher, and a Descendant Dragon, followed by a Utopia Sprawl, Dragon Mantle, Corvold, Beanstalk, Candy, Hamlet, and a Scream Puff. There are a couple common uncommons in here that I think are actually extremely playable. One being the new version of Generous Gift that gives a 1/1. The only downside to it in comparison to Generous Gift, which I don't really think is a downside in comparison to Generous Gift because it only gives a 1/1, is Ingenious Prodigy, Aggravated Assault in the anime, is that it cannot target lands. Irritate of the Charmed Apple for the first mythic right there. Let's go ahead, and our piles are going to be a lot neater than they were yesterday. Spreading Seas, double up on that. Lord, Surmount, Not Dead at All, Vantress, Unruly Catapult, and a Freeze in Place. But yeah, it just doesn't get to target lands, so I think it's a great card. The other one is, I think, Quick Study, which is a 3-drop, 1 blue and 2 colorless, and it's going to give you 2 draw. I actually hit one yesterday. Nature's Will, Leyline of Lightning, Talion, Kindly Lord for the second mythic right there, a Lady of Laughter, Skitter, and then we have our standard cards here. So Raid Bombardment, Nightly, Plains, Succumb, Kindled, and a Cooped Up. But yeah, I think the mechanics of the set are really good. I think what is causing the set to not be as well received as obviously Lord of the Rings is the casting cost to a lot of these cards, which is, you know, they seem great, but such high CMCs, I think, for a lot of this stuff, which is causing it to not really take off. Descendant Dragon, Sentinel of Lost Lore, Horned, and Impact Tremors there. No mythic out of that. I want to say Majestic just because I'm bouncing between, what do you call it, Fab and Magic so often. Lately on the channel, we've actually been streaming quite a bit of Sorcery. Magic is very, very... It's in a tough spot for retailers and sellers, to be honest with everybody. Oh, another glitter foil. Wow, another glitter foil Aggravated Assault there in the glitter. And like I said, these look extremely good in the glitter foil. So very, very cool to see that. Another glitter foil hit there. Restless Bruvik, The End, Cursed, and a Dark Tillage. So yeah, it's just in a tough spot for sellers. It's it has essentially become an unprofitable endeavor that a lot of customers expect the store to carry and to essentially sell at a loss. I think the online marketplace is what's really making it tough for a lot of sellers, and people like to compare prices to the online marketplace, and it's just not. If I guess, like, short answer is that if that is the way the business model is going to go, it's just not going to be possible for there's a Stroke of Midnight. I actually was looking for that. I'm going to set that aside, and that is the card I was comparing to Generous Gift. So very cool to get that one. It was a personal chase of mine. But yeah, it is in a very, very rough spot. To be, these boxes are $198 online, and to be completely transparent, I pay $180 approximately for these boxes. And at 180, when you're paying, when you're selling online for 199 on TCG Player, and they're taking 12%, and you're factoring in another grade pack there in the anime, it's odd. They shifted this back up to Mythic here, but it was shifted down, I believe, to Rare in Commander Masters. It just becomes, like I said, it becomes extremely, extremely difficult to just do anything, um, or make anything profitable for the store. So very, very tough spot Magic's in right now. Armored Mice and Merry Brands. But yeah, I'd love to hear people's thoughts on that. Do you support your LGS? Do you pay the higher price in store because you know that they have an overhead and everything, and you go play there and they provide a place to play? I personally, when I go play at the LGS, I always make sure to try and grab something, regardless of the price, to support the store. Just because I do know the pain of having all the overhead and the fact that you're competing with online prices. Forced Fruition, Twinning Twins, a Shadow Puppeteers, Restless Fortress. I really don't like these lands. It's a bummer. It's a bummer it comes in tapped. I think obviously they can't give it, it can't come in untapped. But the fact that it comes in tapped just makes it a terrible land, even if it's a creature land. Intangible Virtue, Dark Tutelage, Ginger Brute, Bread Hunter, Rat Out, Brave, and a Bestial. Yeah, so this set is obviously not doing very well. I actually love watching the channel Final Trade. He does a really good job of analyzing the market, how sales are going, and sales for this this set did not do well. There's a Blind Obedience in the anime actually foiled. These are actually quite hard to hit from what I've heard in the anime art foils, so a lot rarer than most people think. Mana Flare, Questing Druid, a Yenna, Red Tooth, Restless Bruvik. Then we have our Dragon Mantle, Griffin Airy, Agatha, Plunge into Winter, and a Mocking Sprite. Yeah, but as I was saying, Final Trade was analyzing the pre-sales of Eldraine, and it was actually almost as bad. Basically, it was doing as bad as I believe. It obviously beat out Unfinity, but it, you know, past that, it actually is one of the worst performing sets in pre-sale. Lord Skitter's Blessing, Rest in Peace, Elusive Otter, Spiteful Hexmage, a Spellbook Vendor, and a Stab Wound in the back right here. I love the art style of this, though. Very, very cool. They really, really made sure to go for that very, like, fairy tale look. I like that it looks like kind of almost like a children's book, like a page out of almost like a picture book. I think that's something that I think is pretty cool in the set. And that's a pretty cool card, actually. Really cool mechanic. I was just reading that there. But yeah, so don't really have much else to say about this set. I would love to hear people's thoughts on the set. If you think the set's cool, but you just, you know, what do you think of the pricing? What do you think the pricing of Magic in general lately in comparison to other TCGs? Do you think this is something that's sustainable? Is it not sustainable? Virtue of Persistence for our Majestic right there. Majestic Mythic. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. You gain 2 life. So that's the sorcery side of that. And at the beginning of your upkeep, for 7 mana. This is what I'm saying with the set is the casting costs are just absolutely insane, even though they have that sorcery side. But it says at the beginning of your upkeep, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So this is essentially, though, a way to just keep pulling creatures out of the graveyard. Oversold Cemetery. Another Airtet of the Charmed Apple, this time in a different treatment there. Is that like the borderless treatment? So another mythic there. Knick-Knack Oof. I think this was kind of like a collector oof, right? Knick-Knack Oof enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. When Knick-Knack Oof enters the battlefield, reveal top X cards of your library. You may put any number of aura cards with mana value X or less from among them onto the battlefield. This is kind of like an aura card. Elvish Archivist. Then we have our Knightly Valor, Stab Wound, Splashy, Stormkeld, Neva, Unassuming Sage, Rowan's, Conceited Witch, and a Titanic Growth in the back. Titanic Growth, seeing the second printing there. You know, one thing I will say about these is you can tell here, these are already very, very Pringled coming out of the package. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this in the sleeve because I don't know if it's like sprinkling by the second or what. But there we go. And then here, let's do the last pack of the box. No Beseech the Mirror out of this box, so maybe we can hit it here in the final pack, but we'll take a look and see. So we got a food token, a Rest in Peace, Polluted Bonds. That's a cool card to go into if you're going to build a Shieldred. Mosswood Dead Knight, Throne of Eldraine in the extended art foil. Very cool to see that hit there. Raging Battle Mouse. And then we get a Ground Seal, double Ground Seal. Seems like this slot here, just from these two openings, I can tell, you get a duplicate, one in the foil and one in the non-foil. Unfortunately, you know, it seems like Wizards has still yet to figure that out. Toadstool, Prophetic Prism, and a Triumphant. Return of the Triumphant. So there it is. That is the second opening of a box. We did manage to go 2 for 2 on the glitter foils there. So there's the Aggravated Assault. I think this is probably one of the least valuable of the glitter foils, but still cool to see it. So we'll go ahead and set that aside, and we will call it there. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, if you have any comments on how I can improve or make the videos better, please leave them down below. Dislike the video if you didn't. Like I said, I always appreciate the constructive criticism down below. And let me know what type of videos you want to see for the channel coming up here. Hopefully in the future, though, I'll do some more early box openings so we can get a preview of everything going on, starting with Doctor Who. So subscribe if you want to check those out, and I'll catch you all in the next video.